So my two drawings are A1 and B1. Now, this is where we can now start working into our timing. So I know that this is going to be drawing number 1. That's automatic. And I can put a timing chart, just a blank timing chart, whoops, right up here, that position there. Now, based on what I have in the computer here, and if I just go back here and take a look at it for myself, okay, so that's drawing 1, then I've got 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, so I got 5 in betweens, and then that's number 6. So this is drawing number 6. So what I want to do is I want to time this so that my feet are moving back evenly spaced. So I can go in here and simply default to my halfway positions. Okay, so I got 2, 3, 4. I need 5 and 6. So actually, in order for this to work, yeah, I'm going to ease into number 6. So I'll put a drawing in here and another drawing in here to ease into 6. So it's going to soften into that position back. But what I wanted, and that's for the back leg, so I can actually write here back leg. But for my timing on my front leg, what I want to do is I want to hold it in the number 1 position for 3 drawings. So I'm just going to put my 3 drawings right here, 1, 2, 3, right over top of each other. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'm going to go to my halfway position at number, well, actually I don't want to go 4, I want to go 3 is going to be in there. So 1, 2, 3, 4 will be my halfway position, and then I'm going to cushion, where do I want to cushion? I want to cushion, I'm only going to cushion out. Okay, so actually this will be my number 4, and this will be my number 5 drawing right there as my halfway position, right? So that means that in my overall timing, here's number 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I got an extra drawing in there, so that shouldn't be in there. My halfway position is number 3 overall for the entire body action and for the leg. Okay, so there's not a huge amount of action that's taking place within the body there. But on drawing number 3, my foot's still up in this upper position up here. So when I go to draw my in-between now, what I'm looking for is the position of the toe in the front position there, and the position of the toe in the back position here, and I'm looking for the halfway point between those two. So I can take this and simply do a shift and trace. I just need to darken this up a little bit. And find my halfway position for the body. Again, there's not a huge amount of difference between those two drawings there. And I'm going to keep that leg out. So in order for me to see it clearly, I really should have number 1 on top. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a slight little bit of movement, because there is this backwards movement that's taking place here on this part. I'm sort of debating this, because actually there is no forward movement on the body. Do I have room for forward movement on it? Let me just take a peek. I need to see my C1 drawing. So C1, yeah, the body is coming forward there. You know what? I could actually modify this drawing here, because it is the planting down position. I'm going to pull my body forward here a little bit. into that position, and then properly in between my body to it. So I've got this slight forward movement because what I wanted to do here was I wanted to have this foot progress forward slightly, so it's not static completely, but I do want it to move slightly forward. In order to do that, I've got to move the body, as the body has to move in order for the leg to move. So I'm just going to push this leg slightly forward here and then just shift and trace it back. So between these two drawings here, there's my action. Okay, leg moves back, this kicks forward slightly with the body coming forward slightly, but it's essentially, it's held in the same position. So it's just sort of hovering there for those two drawings. So my in-between on number 2 will be a halfway position between those two positions, and then my in-between going into 6 is where I want to swoop it down. So I'm going to have my number 5 position is my halfway position for the foot because I'm going to ease out of it. So therefore, in order to do that, I still have to do my 2 in-betweens here between 3 and 6. I have to do my 4 and 5 before I can do my 5 position as the halfway position. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, so the idea here is that I'm timing this. This is my back leg, this is my body as well. So I've just done number 3 drawing here, which is a halfway position. I can't do this leg here as a halfway because it's drawing number 5. I can't do it until I've completed my body halfway in between, which is number 4, and then the next halfway in between, which is 5 on that one. Right? So the timing on this is completely different from the timing on that. It just causes the delay to take place. So it's just an issue of understanding what it is you want your body to be doing at any given point in time and time it out properly. So I'm gonna leave that in between till later because again it's just a simple halfway in between on it. But what I want to talk about now is the remaining drawings here, how I'm going to fill out my timing charts. So again, based on what I've got in the computer here, when I single frame through, I have 2 and then that's on a single frame there. So what I can do when I'm looking at these drawings here, number 5, number 6 is not there, number 5, I just put an X1 there, okay? It means it's held for a single frame. Everything else is on 2s. That's the standard. So I don't have to go through and put an X2, X2, X2 on them. I know that they're all held for 2. But when I put an X1, that means that that drawing is held for 1 frame. So now on my next one, when I'm going from B1, which is this drawing right here, to my C1 drawing, this drawing here, between these two, I have 1 in between, but it's only held for 1 drawing. So my timing chart looks like this. I have 1 in between, so that's 7. So this drawing becomes number 8. So C1 is now 8 as a key. And that drawing, number 7, is held for 1 frame. Okay. Then I move on to my next drawing, which is D1. And C, let me just look at the computer here. That's 1. That's the drawing C1. And I've got 1, 2, 3. I have 4 in-betweens in there. So going from 8 to the next one, I need 4 in-betweens in here. So once again, I just simply look at the action that's taking place between these two drawings here. Going from that back position, I probably want it to speed up. Okay, so I'm going to put in halves, quarters, and eighths this way here. Right? I need to have 3 in-betweens plus another one. So it's actually number 10, 12 there. And that one's shot on ones. This then becomes 13. Sorry, I read the wrong one. Okay, so now going from C1 to D1, there's my timing chart there. Then going from D1 back into A2, which is my opposite of this one, which is this one, I have one in between. So going from here to here, this is the one that I wanted to cushion going up, or I could smear it in there. Yeah, I only put in one in between there, so I'm going to smear that one as a halfway in between. So that then becomes, this is all nothing, 12. Sorry, this one is now 13. So this becomes 14, and that's smear. And this one is 15. So then my A2 is now my number 15 drawing. Okay, so then I've got to replicate the timing chart on this one. So 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. The key going into B2. So this one is now number 20. And my timing chart from B1 was a halfway in between. And it was shot on 1. So that's 21 to 22. And then my C2 is number 22. And my timing chart on that will be the same as this one here. This one is times 1. And then half and a quarter. So 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. So this now becomes 27. And now I have to go back into number 1. So on my D on the opposite side, there's my D on the opposite side, which had a halfway, and that's the smear one. So that's 28. And this goes back into 1. All right. So there's my timing charts now filled out based on the timing that I have chosen to do overall. So that's the process that you would go through, is by timing it out in the pencil check. Then you determine where you want your slow ins and slow outs to go, fill in your exposure or your timing charts on the side, and then you simply go back and you start to drop in your in-betweens. Okay? But make sure that you're understanding what it is that you're moving when and where. So on that first one there, I've got my dual timing charts to say this is the back leg and the body, and this is the front leg over here. Now, you'll notice I don't have any arms on this. It's because all my arms are overlapping action. They're going to go as secondary action. Same thing with the head. I'll probably put that on as a secondary action just to get a nice snapping action taking place in it like this. And the ears as well. The character has ears, and he's got tufts of hair, which I actually have taken the hair off because he's got the zombie brain thing inside here. So the character will actually look something like this. But his brain will be open here. So I'll have the jello brain in there. So I might want to get that to slosh back and forth as well, depending on how his head moves. So that would be not secondary, but tertiary action on top of it. So I have to animate the head first as it overlaps, and then I go back in and I'll add in what's happening with the brains on the inside to make it delay by maybe 1 or 2 frames. And he's also got the ears on here as well. So his ears will come down like that, and they'll be flipping and flopping back and forth. So that'll be a tertiary action as well. All right. So I'll do all that stuff after I've done the primary action within the body and figured out what's going on, you know, with the action there as far as the arms and, or sorry, the legs, and then go back in, add in timing charts for the head separate to that. So I'll have another set of timing charts over here that will be for the head, and then another set of timing charts on top of that for the brain and the ear. Okay. So this stuff you can include it all on your sheet of paper over here on the side. I mean, you've probably seen, you know, classical animation drawings of animation keys where there are timing charts all over the place, you know, pointing to different things. And that's what they do, is they have those different timing charts for different parts of the body. But in actual fact, these timing charts here will not go on this key drawing. They'll actually go on one of the secondary drawings, either 2 or 3 would now become the key for that, because that's the hit point that it's going to overlap on. And then it would carry over 7, 8 would be the next key position. Okay? So it's just a matter of keeping track mentally with what it is that you want to do. But it all goes back to the very beginning that we talked about. It's having a mental image in your brain of what it is you want your character to do. Once you've got that mental visualization in there, it's simply a matter of dropping the drawings onto paper and then playing with the timing and going back in, filling your timing charts out, and then making sure that things are overlapping each other. Okay? You're in control of everything. Okay? But you have to know what it is that you're doing in order to be in control of it. But don't be afraid. All right? Have some fun with it.